I installed hidden cameras around the house and caught my wife cheating on me. A month later, I found out she'd had a complete nervous breakdown and stopped taking care of our son. I'm still lost. It's been about 2 weeks since I found out about the affair. I'd had my suspicions for a while, lots of red flags, but never anything solid. So I asked her directly. Her reaction? Rage. Pure, irrational fury. How dare you accuse me of that? I would never cheat on you. And that, ironically, convinced me otherwise. I went through her phone, her computer, nothing, no proof. So I bought a few small, hidden cameras and set them up around the house. Then I left for a weekend trip to visit some old friends. I grew up in a small town near the Minnesota-Canada border. Met my wife in Chicago when I was 20. She was 21. And back then, she already had a 3-year-old son. We hit it off fast. For the past 11 years, I've been a father to that boy. I love him like he's my own. We've been married for 6 years now. Not that it matters anymore. I came home earlier than planned, specifically so she wouldn't expect me. And I watched the camera footage. And yeah, there it was. She was in bed with another man. I recognized him right away. Her coworker. His name's Theo. We used to be friends. Him and his wife would come over for dinner, cookouts, game nights. I always thought seeing red was just a figure of speech. But in that moment, I swear, everything turned blood red. I've never been an angry guy. Usually pretty calm, even when things get heated. But that day, something inside me just snapped. I punched the wall over and over, kicked the bedroom door so hard it ripped off the hinges, smashed into the glass coffee table, shattered it to pieces. I bit the inside of my cheek without realizing. Blood sprayed across the walls when I screamed. I don't remember how many things I broke. I was seeing double, seeing red. At some point, I slammed my head against the wall. That's when I finally paused. It jolted me back to reality just long enough to realize if she walks in right now, I might end up in prison. Maybe for assault. Maybe for something worse. I grabbed a suitcase, stuffed in the basics, and took my laptop. I need that thing. I work in simulation and modeling, and my whole setup is on it. Then I sent Theo's wife the footage. No words, just the message, "Your husband been sleeping with my wife." After that, I went to wait outside the house for my son. When I saw him, I hugged him tighter than I ever had before. Told him I loved him, that I'd always love him. Then I made the mistake of telling him, "Your mom cheated on me. I have to go." God, I regret that more than anything. He didn't deserve that. He's just a kid. But I was broken. And when you're broken, your mouth moves before your brain can stop it. I tried to cross the border to visit family, but it was closed, COVID restrictions. So I found a cheap place on Airbnb and just existed. Worked like a zombie. Didn't speak to my wife. Didn't answer anyone's calls, except for my son's. He kept asking what was happening. I told him the truth, as gently as I could. I don't know what's going to happen, bud, but a divorce is probably coming. I'm trying to find a good lawyer. Haven't spoken to her family. Only my parents know what happened on my side. I've stayed away from mutual friends. Most of them are still friends with her, and I don't want any part of that. Right now, I'm completely alone. And honestly, I'm scared. I'm scared of seeing her, of hearing her voice. I'm scared that if I do, I'll explode again. And this time, I won't be able to control it.
I knew I needed an outlet, something to burn through all the rage before it burned through me. So I found an underground MMA gym in the city. It wasn't flashy, just a warehouse with mats and gloves and a lot of pain. I told him the truth, that I didn't know how to fight, that I was pissed off and spiraling and I needed help before I did something I'd regret. They didn't laugh, they didn't judge, they just nodded and said, "Let's get to work." They had me train for 2 hours straight. Didn't go easy on me. My muscles screamed, but my mind started to quiet down. And then one of the trainers, a pro fighter, took me into the ring. He could have killed me if he wanted to. Instead, he moved slow, careful. Let me get in a few weak punches, light kicks, blocked most of them. Sometimes he'd lightly tap me in return, not hard, but enough to let me feel it. Every time he hit me, he asked, "You good?" Once, he even apologized. "Sorry, man, that one was stronger than I meant." Imagine that, a guy apologizing for punching you during a fight. He never saw me as a threat, not even close. And I think that's what helped most. For the first time since it all started, I saw what real power looks like. Calm, controlled, respectful. These guys, the most peaceful people I've ever met. I want that. I want to be like them. I want to stop shaking with rage every time I think about her. That one fight, it helped. Not completely, but enough. I could finally breathe again. I kept going back, kept getting my ass kicked, and slowly, piece by piece, I started to rebuild myself.
But still, I didn't trust myself to face her. Not yet. I spoke to my son. I told him, no matter what happens, we'll be okay. You and me. And I meant it. I told him he's my son. Always will be, no matter what happens with his mom. And that seemed to help him. He needed to hear that. I started reconnecting with a few mutual friends, talked to her parents too. And what I heard? She was falling apart, calling everyone day and night, crying, rambling, begging people to help her get in touch with me, even offering money for it. I didn't want to talk to her directly, couldn't afford a lawyer for that kind of communication, so I asked my cousin to act as a go-between. I gave her a few questions to pass along. Let's see where that leads. A few days later, my son called me. I'd been trying to keep things normal, talking to him twice a day, pretending everything was fine. He always said he was okay, but this time, he broke. He called me crying, said he lied, said things at home weren't okay, not even close. His mom had stopped functioning. She just sat in front of the TV all day, sometimes even when it was off. Didn't talk, didn't move, didn't feed him. The place was a wreck, smelled awful. There was no food. He hadn't eaten in 2 days, just a couple sandwiches from a friend's mom when he visited their house. I didn't even think, I just ran. By the time I reached the apartment, the smell hit me in the hallway. Rotting trash, something sour, a chemical, sickening. The place looked like it hadn't been cleaned once since I left. Trash everywhere. Mold, dirty dishes stacked to the ceiling, shattered glass on the floor. I brought a burger for my son on the way, told him to go eat it in his room, that I'd handle everything. Told him it would be okay now. He hugged me, tight. God, I'd missed him. Missed that. I'll never leave him again.
I found her in the living room, just staring blankly at the TV. And yeah, my son told me it was bad, but he didn't tell me how bad. She looked like a corpse. Her cheeks were sunken in, dark circles under her eyes. lips cracked and bleeding, hair filthy and matted. She was wearing, I don't even know what, some stained shirt, torn pajama pants. Everything smelled like mold and vomit. There was a bucket next to her. I didn't understand at first. Later I realized it was half full of her vomit, from days ago. I couldn't breathe. My mind shut down. All the rage, all the betrayal, gone, replaced by something worse. Grief. I felt sorry for her. I wanted to protect her, help her, clean her up, make it stop. That scared me. She looked at me and whispered, "Are you real?" I said yes. And she started wailing, not crying, howling. This raw animal sound that shook the whole room. Then she collapsed. Maybe passed out, maybe fell asleep. I couldn't tell. I put my Fitbit on her wrist, had no idea how to check her pulse otherwise, and watched it spike between 100 and 150 BPM. That didn't seem good. So I laid her down, wiped her face, ran to the neighbors and asked if they could watch my son. Then I drove her to the hospital. She's been in the hospital for about a week now. Honestly, I've lost track of the days. I visited her once, but the moment she saw me, she got so agitated the doctors told me not to come back. Not yet. No diagnosis, no timeline, no idea if she'll ever really come back from this. So now, I'm in survival mode. Everything I have goes into taking care of my son. He's in therapy, regular sessions. It seems to be helping, but he's not the same. He's been hurt. And that breaks me. I carry that guilt with me every second. I brought this pain into his life. I'm trying to get full custody. I've already talked to a lawyer about it. I'm also preparing for divorce, but I've put it on hold for now. The house took me days to clean. The fridge was so foul I had to replace it completely. Even bleach couldn't get the stench out. And then I found something. She'd taken all my dirty clothes and laid them out on the bed in the shape of a human body. She even gave it anatomical details. I don't even want to describe it. It was disturbing. I started reading through her journals, papers scattered all over the house. Most of it was nonsense. Scribbles, repeated words. One page, just the word sorry, written over and over and over again. Others had random timestamps, half-finished sentences that trailed off into waves and loops. I'm not angry anymore. That's the worst part. The anger gave me something, a reason, a fuel. Now it's just sorrow. I'm so deeply sad. For her, for our son, for everything we've lost. I know why I was angry before. I see how it broke me. But I also know I've changed. Or at least I'm trying to. I don't know if I can forgive her. I don't even know if I should. But I do know this. Right now, my son is everything.
and I have to keep him safe. I have to be the strong one. I still don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe, if she recovers, I'll talk to her. Maybe we'll figure something out. But I'm not rushing it. Not anymore.
A few days ago, her mother handed me something. A letter. 32 pages. Handwritten. I read it all in one night, and then I read it again. And again. I didn't sleep at all. She apologized for everything. For what she did to me, to our son, to the family. She said she'd sign whatever documents I gave her. Divorce, custody, anything. No questions. Then, she confessed something I didn't know. Before the physical affair, she'd already had an emotional affair. 2 months long, online. Flirting, messaging, no explicit photos, no meetings, but still, something real. She swore she ended it before it got physical, just vanished on the guy one day. But she never told me, and that secret festered. Then came Theo. And she admits it. She was drawn to him, to the attention, to the feeling of being wanted. He's attractive, model-level looks, and his wife, a literal bombshell. So for my wife, being able to win him made her feel powerful, desirable, like she mattered again. She hated herself for it, at least at first, but the more guilt she felt, the more she pushed it down. And slowly, she stopped caring. According to her and her journal, which she gave me full access to, they only slept together 5 times. It lasted about 4 weeks. They kissed, touched, booked hotel rooms using her card. I saw the receipts. And every time, she says, it felt empty. She didn't enjoy it. She just wanted him to like her again. She used sex as a reward, a transaction, to keep him interested. It wasn't about love. It wasn't even about lust. It was about validation. And when he started pulling away, she panicked, tried harder, crossed more lines. She admits it all, says she doesn't even recognize the person she became. I don't know who that woman was. I betrayed everything I believed in, everything I loved. She ended the letter with this. I don't deserve forgiveness. I don't expect it. But I will do anything to help you and our son heal. If you never want to see me again, I'll stay away. I'll move in with my mother. I'll never interfere. But if you ever ask me to come back, I will. Only if you ask. She swore she wouldn't date anyone else. Not because she wanted to prove something, but because she genuinely believed I am not safe for anyone until I understand why I did what I did. After I finished her letter, all 32 pages of it, I broke down. I cried harder than I ever have in my life. Not just tears, full-body, uncontrollable sobbing. Then I did something I can't explain. I watched the video again. The one from the hidden camera. The one where she's with him. Then I watched the other one, the one where I lost it, screaming, destroying everything, bleeding on the walls. And then I watched them again. And again. I don't know why. It hurt like hell every time, but something in me kept going back. Was I punishing myself? Trying to burn the pain in deeper so I could forget? Or was I addicted to it? To the heartbreak?
it scares me. In her diary, I found something else. She wrote that a few years ago, around the time her favorite aunt passed away, she fell into a depression. She never told me. But from then on, her writing got darker, hopeless, detached. And then I read something I hadn't expected. She never loved Theo. She never even liked him much. She loved how he made her feel important, wanted, worth something. It was never about him. She also told his wife everything, the moment it came out, didn't try to hide or deflect. That's how I know her story's true. I heard it from Theo's wife, too. Although, that woman, she's something else. She tried to sleep with me. Out of spite? Out of revenge? Said we could even the score. She was obsessed with the idea, as if it would fix something. I left. Didn't even look back. I can't sleep. I can't think straight. My mind is a loop of questions with no answers. I've read thousands of posts, forums, books, trying to understand what happened. Can an affair really hijack your mind that badly? Can someone truly lose control? Was it depression? Impulse? Addiction to validation? All I know is my wife is in a hospital, my son is traumatized, and I'm barely hanging on. She says she'll do anything, and I believe her. She ended the affair the day I found out, cut all contact, even gave me all her passwords, everything. But that doesn't make it go away. Eventually, I went to see a therapist. I had to. I wasn't functioning anymore. The nightmares, the panic attacks, the constant replaying of those videos. Turns out, I have PTSD. Real, clinical, diagnosed PTSD. As for her, she was finally diagnosed too. Severe chronic depression with bipolar tendencies. Her brain chemistry was all over the place. Doctors are still adjusting her medication, trying to find the right balance. And now that I'm looking at it clearly, I can finally see it. Theo was a predator. She was in a vulnerable state, and he knew it. He used it. He wasn't his only target either. Turns out he'd been cheating on his wife with multiple women. And now, he's getting divorced. Rumor has it, he got beat up. Not badly, just enough to leave a message. I had nothing to do with it, but I won't pretend I felt sorry either. My son, he's still everything to me. He begged me to never leave again. Those 2 weeks I was gone, they broke him. So now, we do everything together. We go to therapy, we cook, we box. Our bond is stronger than ever. And here's the thing. If I walk away from his mom now, in the middle of her collapse, what does that teach him? That love disappears when things get hard? That broken people don't deserve help? He's terrified I'll leave him next, and I can't let that happen. But I'm also scared. If I stay, will she break me again? If I leave, will I ever trust anyone again? I deleted the videos. The ones of her with him, the ones of me losing control. They were poisoning me, feeding my obsession. I couldn't stop watching them, so I had to. But now, I'm left with questions. What if I stay and she betrays me again? What if I leave and never recover? Everyone says, just divorce her. But it's not that simple. We built a life. She was the only person who ever truly knew me, and it took years to get there. How long would it take to find someone else like that?
Would I ever find someone who really saw me again? And even if I did, what if they cheated? What if it happens all over again?
Everyone online seems so sure. Leave her. Once a cheater, always a cheater. You're weak if you stay. But here's what they don't understand. This isn't just a betrayal. It's a collapse. Of her, of our family, of everything we built. If I walk away now, my son loses his mother. Maybe forever. She's still in the hospital. She refuses to see anyone but her mom. She's made it clear, no one is allowed to speak on her behalf. No pressure, no manipulation, just silence. And part of me respects that. She's not trying to talk her way out of it. She's just trying to survive. A few days ago, her mom gave me her final letter. She wrote that she'll never ask for forgiveness and that she knows she doesn't deserve it. But if there's anything she can do to help me or our son, no matter how small, she'll do it. I don't even know who I was during the affair, she wrote. I feel like I became someone else, someone I despise. She gave me access to her private journal, almost 10 years worth of entries. Everything matched her story. She even wrote about how sex with him felt like an obligation, something she endured to hold his attention. She didn't enjoy it. She hated it. But she couldn't stop. It was like a drug. The attention, the danger, the validation. And when it ended, when I found out, she collapsed entirely. Would that help her heal? Would it destroy her completely? If I stay, can I trust her again? Can I heal? Can my son? He needs his mom. But only if she's safe. Only if she can return to being the loving, stable person she once was. Right now, I don't know if that's possible. I do know this. If I leave now, it'll crush my son. He already told me he's afraid I'll leave him too. He's finally opening up again. He needs consistency, safety, me. Even if I divorce her, I wouldn't be able to do it right now. Not while she's still in recovery. Not while our son is still this fragile. So what now? What's waiting for me out there if I leave? Dating? At my age? After all this? Most women my age are either divorced, and not without reason, or so wrapped up in their kids that they don't want me, they want a co-parent. And I get it, but it's not what I want. I don't want to be someone's second choice or their emergency plan. I want to be wanted, chosen, like I used to be. But even if I find someone new, will I ever trust her? Will I carry all this pain into the next relationship? Will I compare every touch, every silence, every late-night text? And what if she cheats too? It sounds crazy, but part of me actually believes the chance my wife cheats again is lower than the chance someone else will. Why? Because she knows the cost now. She's lived through the fallout. She broke and is trying to crawl back. A stranger? She hasn't learned that lesson yet. So maybe the best path forward is right here. Not because I forgive her, not because I owe her, but because we both need to heal. And maybe healing together is better than healing alone. I don't know if we'll ever be married again, or sleep in the same bed, or even be able to look each other in the eye. But I do know this. She's the only person who ever really knew me. And I don't have it in me to throw that away. Not yet. Besides, my son needs his mom, and she can't be a mom unless she gets better. If I walk away now,
that might never happen. I've made one decision, and only one. Nothing moves forward unless she puts in the work. If we ever try reconciliation, it won't be a gift. It won't be automatic. She'll have to earn it, day by day. Therapy, accountability, honesty. This won't be a second chance. It'll be a probation. And if I see even a hint of deception again, I'm gone. We both need therapy. Lots of it. And maybe we can rebuild something. Not what we had, something new. Different. Wiser. But I'm not rushing into that. Not yet. The hardest part? I still love her. Not the way I used to. Not blindly. Not naively. But love is still there. Even when I don't want it to be. Even when it hurts. And I know, if I let it, that love will guide my decisions. Not revenge. Not anger. Not pride. Love. For her, for my son, and maybe, someday, for myself too. That's the end of the story. For now. I don't know how it ends. Maybe in divorce, maybe in healing, maybe in something completely unexpected. But I'm still here. Still trying. Still fighting for what's left. One day at a time.
If you enjoyed this story or found it meaningful, please consider liking, subscribing, or sharing it with someone who might need to hear it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read every one. Until next time, stay kind, stay strong, and take care of yourself.